Hey guys, the Sports Entertainer here, back with some more wrestling news. Join us as the Sports Entertainer looks at all the breaking wrestling news and rumors you need to know, including will the Shield reunite in WWE at WrestleMania 41, more WWE releases backstage revealed, Logan Paul can't imagine himself as a babyface in WWE, and much more. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you never miss out on an episode. First up, Stone Cold Steve Austin reveals regret of his WrestleMania 38 match. Now, for the longest time, Stone Cold Steve Austin had stuck to his retirement from WWE, but like a lot of wrestling legends who try making it clear that they're done in the squared circle for good, more often than not these legends are eventually pulled out of retirement, and Stone Cold Steve Austin ended up coming out of retirement for a massive match against Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 38. A lot of fans were pretty skeptical at the time leading up to this return match of Stone Cold, with a lot of fans feeling as though this would be something that tarnishes Steve Austin's legacy, but there's no doubt that this match between Owens and Austin actually delivered. The match was incredibly fun to watch, and while it wasn't a match filled with high-risk flips and dives, that was never Austin's style to begin with. The match with Kevin Owens was an outright brawl, and it was much better than anyone could have imagined it would be, given how long Austin was retired for. However, Stone Cold Steve Austin is clearly his own harshest critic, because during a recent interview with Sports Illustrated, Stone Cold reflected on his WrestleMania 38 match, and made it clear that he had some regret and wasn't thrilled with all aspects of the match, revealing, "I was happy in a moment, but you know, they didn't send me a ring down, I didn't have any timing. Triple H said, you can come back but you don't know what you have, because you haven't been out there. Undertaker said, you're not going to have any timing. He was right, I didn't have any timing. Hell, I hadn't hit a set of ropes in 19 years, hadn't thrown a punch in 19 years. I think I couldn't hear the crowd as much as I wanted to. When I watched it back, the crowd was into it. It was very, very loud, yes, but I wish I would have taken more time, savored more moments, and worked the people a little bit more than I did. I think I was in a space of not knowing what I had and trying to be a little too frantic. I could have slowed down drastically and made that better, and I wish that I would have. I haven't told too many people that, but I told you. Now, Stone Cold Steve Austin definitely seems like a perfectionist, because he has no reason to have any regrets regarding his WrestleMania 38 bout against Kevin Owens. Most fans look back on that match fondly, and Stone Cold truly couldn't have done any better with the circumstances he was dealing with. Austin hadn't wrestled in years, yet still made the match with KO highly entertaining and engaging for fans. The fact that the match wasn't a complete train wreck was a huge win for Austin given the ring rust he had. The fact that the match actually delivered and was entertaining is something that Austin should be proud of with no regrets. It was the perfect retirement match for Stone Cold, that's for sure. Next up, will the Shield reunite in WWE at WrestleMania 41? Now it goes without saying that the Shield, consisting of Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins, is one of the greatest factions in wrestling history, with the three men not only achieving insane heights as a faction, but all three Shield members ended up achieving massive success in the wrestling industry as solo stars, with Roman and Seth obviously achieving the most in WWE, whereas Dean Ambrose or Jon Moxley is the biggest star in the competition All Elite Wrestling. No doubt a lot of fans have continued to fantasize about the scenario of there being a Shield reunion in WWE, and while that would certainly be awesome, clearly that likely isn't going to be happening anytime soon, as Seth Rollins poured cold water on that fantasy when he was asked in a recent interview with WFAN if there's any possibility of the Shield faction reuniting at WrestleMania 41, with Rollins revealing, "Look, one of our guys is over in the other company, so he ain't coming, and Roman Reigns and I are here for life. Look, our paths are gonna be intertwined. We're gonna crisscross here and there until both of us are done and retired, so you never know. You never know what WrestleMania is going to look like. You never know what next month is going to look like. Could be any time." Now honestly, the chances of Seth Rollins putting his differences aside with the OTC and reuniting with Roman Reigns is definitely a lot more possible in the near term than a full-fledged Shield reunion with Dean Ambrose, because for that to happen, Ambrose or Moxley would either have to leave AEW and return to WWE, or get cleared by All Elite Wrestling for a special one-off WWE return, which does seem pretty far-fetched at this point. However, we do believe that before these 3 stars retire, they will have a reunion in WWE, it's just a matter of time. But who knows, while we don't foresee a Shield reunion in WWE anytime soon, crazier things have happened in WWE, especially recently, so perhaps Triple H is planning the swerve or surprise of the century by having Dean Ambrose return at WrestleMania 41 for a special Shield reunion with Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, who, as many of you guys are likely aware, are likely going to be facing off against each other in a triple threat match also involving CM Punk. Next up, more WWE releases backstage. Now, to say that 2025 has already been a year filled with many unexpected releases or firings from WWE would be a massive understatement, as Triple H and the WWE continue to let a bunch of talent go, and while the first round of releases this year included a bunch of on-screen superstars like Sonya Deville, Giovanni Vinci, Cedric Alexander, and the Authors of Pain, this latest batch of roster cuts targeted a bunch of backstage employees, meaning that WWE are also cleaning up the behind-the-scenes roster as well, with eWrestlingNews.com reporting, Fightful Select is reporting that WWE talent scouts Jim Smallman, Renee Caselli, and Ulf Herman attended the WXW 16 Karat Gold weekend, along with several European promoters. Jim Smallman was also spotted at the Evolution Wrestling event on February 22nd, and Progress's My Own Destiny event on February 23rd, with his visit to the Progress show being described as positive. Mike Rome was absent from last week's WWE NXT TV tapings due to personal reasons. Following some recent WWE talent cuts, the company made multiple cuts in its production departments. Now we hope this onslaught of WWE releases comes to an end soon, because it's never a nice thing to hear about talent losing their job, whether they're on-screen superstars or talent working for WWE behind the scenes, so hopefully these roster cuts are now a thing of the past, at least for the remainder of this year. And finally, Logan Paul can't imagine himself as a babyface in WWE. Now, to say that Logan Paul gets a ton of heat whenever he shows up in WWE would be a colossal understatement, and in all honesty, the amount of heat Logan Paul generates has actually been getting louder and more pronounced in recent times, to the point that it seems like Logan is actually getting go-away heat more than anything else. There's heat that a great heel gets, and then there's the heat Logan Paul is generating, which for the most part seems like fans trying to make it clear that they don't want Logan Paul on their TV screens. We don't think Logan Paul will ever be anything other than a heel during this run in WWE, and during a recent episode of his Impulsive podcast, Logan spoke a bit about being booed in his own hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, and how he can never imagine being a babyface in WWE, revealing it bothered me. There is a guy named Bruce Pritchard, legend, went to Cleveland, walked out, and everyone effing booed me. In my hometown, I went backstage to Bruce and was like, do they understand that I could get out of that ring and pull any single one of them out and beat the effing crap out of them? Anyone, any age, gender, form. It hurt my feelings. Booed in my hometown. He made a comment about Cleveland. It is Cleveland. What is this place? I was upset. Something happened where a flip was switched, and I realized how much power there was in being able to puppeteer and really artfully manipulate the crowd to play on the exact emotion you want them to feel or not. It's a dance, and sometimes they are messing with me and are booing me out the building, so it's harder to get through my promos. Other times I diss their favorite superstar or city. I found so much pleasure in it. Truthfully, at this point, I can never imagine being a babyface. I have no interest in it. I'm in my pocket at the moment, I love it. Now, can you guys ever see Logan Paul successfully switch up to being a babyface in WWE? Or is Logan always going to need to be a heel or bad guy in your opinion? Well, guys, that's it for today's major wrestling news. Make sure you leave a like and comment, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on, so you'll never miss out on an episode. Finally, if you haven't already, give us a follow on Twitter at TSE Wrestling, and we will see you guys in the next video.